All right, so we're on lesson 18, so let's go back to the main repository and go down to lessons and lesson 18. And we're going to click on that raw link, copy that, go ahead and open up a terminal. We're going to go to our lessons folder, and then we're going to either do curl-O or wget that link, and then source activate Python 3, and or if you're using Windows, it'd be conda activate, and then Jupyter Notebook to open up the notebook. Okay. So we click on lesson 18. And let's go ahead and go to cell, all output, clear. All right, so today we're going to talk about interactive visualization with Bokeh. This is one of several different visualization packages that Python has. I've mentioned a few others in the final project description that you can also look into. But Bokeh is a nice package for interactive visualization, and what it effectively does is generates an interactive HTML file. This can be opened in a web browser that it allows the user to control how the plot is appearing. So you can zoom in, you can mouse over points, and it will show you their values. You can do all sorts of other kind of interactive features that allow you to get a better sense of the data. So there's some text here, and what I've also given you is the homepage for the package. There's a user guide, a reference guide for the API or the application program interface, and then there's also a gallery that shows you some different options and a notebook viewer gallery as well. So that's some good resources for you to learn more, but we'll cover a lot today. And so the first thing we want to do is to make sure we have Bokeh installed, and we're also going to install something called Pandas Data Reader, which will allow us to download financial data. So let's go ahead and do that. We can copy that command, and we can go back to our Jupyter window and open up a terminal. And on this version of Jupyter, I don't see the environment listed there. So I can do, just to make sure, I can do conda env list, and indeed Python 3 is the active environment because it has a star next to it. So I'm good. I know whatever I install is going to be installed into that environment, so I can paste conda install Bokeh. And if it prompts you to install, say yes. For me, I don't need to. I've already installed it. And then we want to install the second Pandas Data Reader. Now, for this, we're going to use pip because it's not available from conda. And I get a message requirement already satisfied, but for most of you, that you should say yes, install, and that should be installed. All good? Okay, we'll see in a second if that worked, but it should be all good. So there are two interfaces or interface levels for Bokeh. One is one called bokeh.models, which is a lower level interface that takes a little more work to generate the plots, but it gives you more control and flexibility. And there's the bokeh plotting interface, which is higher level interface that gives you all this set of glyphs that you can play with. So this is kind of like the difference between Matplotlib and Seaborn. Right, Seaborn is kind of built on top of Matplotlib. It gives you gives you a lot of the power of Matplotlib, but you don't have to type as many lines of code to get a nice looking plot. But if you really want full control over the plot, you would use Matplotlib because it's a lower level interface. A little bit different because in this case they're both part of the same package. So in bokeh we have these glyphs, which are different plotting features that get put onto the graph. So first we're gonna import a few different functions from the bokeh plotting interface. So we're gonna do this kind of import where we say from bokeh.plotting import figure, output file, and show, which are all functions within the plotting module. Okay, and so then we're going to create a figure object using this figure function. We're going to create some glyphs and then customize those glyphs. So this is sort of like a figure that we would create with Matplotlib, but in this case it's a bokeh function. So we're going to specify the width and the height. If we want to, this is optional. This is going to create a figure object called P, and P as a figure object has these various methods: circle, triangle, title, x-axis, y-axis, that we can plot data to. So it accepts as inputs the coordinates of where these circles are going to be, and then the size and the color. So quite similar to Matplotlib. And triangle is works the same way. It's going to take the x and the y coordinates, and then in this case we can provide a vector with sizes, color, and alpha, which is a transparency. And then we can provide a title, a text for the title, and also text color. So we can call this plotted example, and it'll have the color orange. And then we can label the axes and also control the tick color of the y and the x-axis ticks. Then we're going to output this file as scatterplotting.html, and the mode is going to be CDN. This stands for Content Delivery Network. What this is that these bokeh plots require a fair amount of resources to render, and a lot of those resources can be stored in the cloud or on the internet. And then your HTML file that you're going to generate can go to the internet and get the information that it needs to render that plot. If you want, however, you can change the mode to a mode where it will download all the information and either store it locally on your computer or actually embed it in the HTML file itself. So if you have that one HTML file, you can be disconnected from the internet and it will still work. All right, so if we're going to check this out, and then finally we're going to show the thing that we made. So we're going to it's going to show up should show up in the notebook, but also will generate a separate file. Yeah, question?
Is there anything we had to do besides import the bokeh and data reader? Because my original one didn't. There's an error there.
Okay. One second.